Funny story. Today is actually my half-sister's birthday. My mom's first surrogate baby, because my mom did a traditional surrogacy versus a gestational surrogacy, which is what I do, meaning when she did it, my goodness, my voice is insane. All the pollen is finally getting to me. Can you hear me now? Oh my word. I'm not dying, I swear. I promise I don't have the Rona. I get tested twice a week at work because it's the state regulation, because I work in healthcare. So it's not the Rona. That's not what I got. It's just the fact that I woke up and haven't spoken to anyone yet because everybody in my house is asleep. Anyway, like I was saying, when my mom was a surrogate, she was a traditional surrogate because gestational surrogacy was so insanely expensive that the intended parents couldn't afford it. So, to give you point of reference, when my mom was a surrogate for the second time, her intended parents were a doctor and a pharmacist. Like, that's good money. Like, that's I can't even imagine how much it would have cost today, back then. Does that make sense? I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, insanely expensive, right? So what they did, instead of an embryo transfer where they took the mom's eggs, the dad's sperm, put them together to make an embryo, they just took the dad's sperm and did basically an IUI, which is artificial insemination, where they just took his sperm and put them in my mom when she was ovulating and then hoped she would get pregnant. So it was much cheaper for the intended parents to do it that way. Anyway, back to what I was saying. It's my half-sister's birthday. So my mom's first baby that she had was for a couple that lives in New York, and she was born today. So technically she's my half-sister, even though we never lived together or anything, but I call her my half-sister because it's easier than saying, oh, my mom's first surrogate baby. So anyway, I forgot where I was going with that. Oh yeah, it's her birthday. You might be asking yourself, why is she dressed up? Well, not dressed up, but why is her hair done like that? Her hair's never done like that. She just pulls it into a ponytail. Yes, I do. Today, my hair's a little curly. So in the town that I live in, small town, it's cute, I love it here. I have to drive 30 minutes to get into work, but love this town. So every summer, the city puts on the Sandy Mountain Festival, which is a great time. It's so much fun. They have this tiny little carnival. They've got a parade that happens to be tonight. I mean, it doesn't happen to be tonight, but it's tonight. So, parade, carnival, and then they have over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, they've got local, I don't want to say vendors, but they have people that will come and set up a booth that are selling handmade soaps or little trinkets, or there's this really cool place that I'll have to get a video if I can, that has leaves that they've taken and soaked in some solution of salt water, and it basically eats away the meaty part of the leaf and just leaves all the veins in it. So you have the shape of the leaf, but it's lacy. It is the freaking coolest thing I've ever seen. And they'll take them, they'll dry them, and then they'll put them in like a shadow box. They'll like spray paint them fun colors, or I don't think they've had them the last year that they did Sandy Mountain Festival, you know, with COVID. They didn't have one the last couple of years, I don't think. So it's pretty cool. I mean, I have some earrings that are similar. I do have a necklace pendant that I bought from them that has part of a leaf. But yeah, so they've got like all kinds of handmade gifts. Like, I don't know if you've seen the necklaces or like bracelets or whatever that are made of silicone beads, like the big round ones. There's a vendor that has those. There's this guy that makes vehicles out of wood. So he's got like airplanes and trucks and like, okay, this is the type of town that I live in. He had a log truck. Like, how freaking cute is that? Like little sticks, okay, they were like this long, little sticks that went on the back of the, it was so cute. It was so cute. My son had one. So anyway, they've got a bunch of vendors. There's food that's done by the Eagle Scouts, cheerleaders that have a booth for food. They've got the football players doing one. They've got, you know, bunches of school groups trying to raise money, so they have a booth at the Sandy Mountain Festival. So it's fun. It's super fun to just walk around and see what everybody's brought. So that's this weekend. That's why my hair looks the way it does, because I'm going to be in the parade on one of the floats. Hopefully on, not walking next to, because it's all uphill, and it's like 2 miles uphill that you have to walk. But in order for us to throw candy off the float, people have to walk next to it to make sure the kids don't like run up and get hit by the flatbed truck. So hopefully they have enough people to walk next to it so I can ride on it. That will very much decide my shoe selection for the parade. Because if I don't have to walk, I might wear heels. I might. We'll see. We'll see how I feel at the end of the day after I have to work. And yeah. But it's 50s themed, which is why my hair looks the way it does. I tried looking on Pinterest last night and finding a hairstyle. Oh my word. I spent probably 45 minutes scrolling through Google and Pinterest looking for a 1990 or 1990. Boy, that feels like 50 years ago, doesn't it? Trying to find a 1950s women's hairstyle, and they are all super short, and my hair is very long, like past my boobs long. Okay, it is not short, so I can't just like put it up, you know, like curl it a little bit and pin it. And no, there's none of that, because my hair is very long. Like, this is pulled back into a ponytail and curled, and it's this long. It's very good. So, spent way too much time, and then my mom was like, well, why don't you just put it in a ponytail? Because I always put it in a ponytail. She's like, yeah, but that's what they did. She pulls up like the TV show Happy Days. She's like, look. She's like, so-and-so from Happy Days. I'm like, Mom, I've never seen Happy Days. She's like, you've never seen Happy Days? Like, she's freaking out. So, I'm like, no. I've heard of it, and I know the, like, a reference and, you know, the fonts and stuff, but no, I've never seen it. She's like, we have to watch it. So, that's in my future. Oh, other reason I'm recording today, I have a meeting, well, a phone call, with the reproductive clinic that I'm going to be working with. And it's like an intake phone call. I am not sure what they're going to talk about because I don't remember doing one with my last surrogacy that I did there. So, not 100% sure why we're doing that. It seems like a waste of time because the person that I talked to was like, oh yeah, and after like we have our phone call, then I'll set you up with a real case manager. They didn't say real, but you know, like an actual manager person. So I don't know what this is about because I'm not new to the clinic and it's not like I'm the one that's seeking treatment. I mean, technically I am, but I'm seeking treatment because my intended mom is already an established patient there and I will be carrying her baby. So it's not like they're like, oh, you know, how long have you been trying to get pregnant? Like, nope, I haven't been trying to do that. So not really sure what this is about, but I will update you when I figure it out.
3 hours later.
Okay, I am just leaving work. And I wanted to give you a quick update about the call that I had this morning with the fertility clinic. It went really well. The person that I talked to is like their intake coordinator, something. I mean, the names that they give positions and companies sometimes are so funny. I used to work at Subway. Guess what those employees are called? Sandwich artists. Yeah. Like, what? I mean, if you're good at your job, it is an art. So I can see it. I got on the call this morning with the intake, whoever, and she was like, okay, this is going to be the fastest phone call in the history of phone calls. I'm like, okay. So basically she was like, you've already accessed the portal because they use like an online, I downloaded the app. So you've already gotten into the portal, you signed all your consents, you filled out all the information. The amount of stuff that they wanted to know is just astronomical. It's so much. I mean, we're talking date of last period. Have you ever had this illness or this illness? Do you take any medications? When was your last tetanus shot? Have you ever had, you know, this shot and this shot and this shot? Like, so much. There were a couple of questions on there that I was like, I don't know if I'm supposed to answer this because, like, it doesn't really apply to me. I think they use the same form for, like, if you're signing up with the clinic for infertility problems, because it asks, like, how long have you been trying to conceive? I'm pretty sure I went over this in the video this morning, so I'm just going to stop rambling. The phone call this morning was literally 7 minutes long. I was expecting at least half an hour, but it was like, bam, 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 done. Okay. She asked me if I had an OBGYN yet, which I do not because I had to switch insurances at the beginning of the year. So I need to find a new OBGYN. I know what clinic I want to go to. It's the one right next to the hospital that I'm going to deliver at. But I need to find a specific OB within that clinic. When I went before to have my like initial agency screening, I just saw whoever could see me. She was super nice, but I don't know if she can see me the entire pregnancy and like deliver the baby. And I would very much like to have the same person. I probably talked about this before, but I have delivered 3 times and my actual OB delivered once. I always have the on-call doctor except for that one time. So I would really like it if I could see the same doctor and that doctor be the one to deliver the baby. That would be great. So, I mean, you can't plan for everything. People take obviously, because that happened the first time. Second time. Both times, I think. Yeah. I think both times my doctor was on vacation when I delivered. And then the last time it was my actual doctor. But she asked me the date of my last period, and I told her it was like 3 days ago. She's like, oh, okay. So she's like, I'm gonna call in a prescription to your pharmacy and you can start it tonight. And I'm like, what? Like for real? I was not expecting that. It's just birth control. I mean, it's nothing like super fancy and whatever, but it's not the shots. So I need to stop by the pharmacy on my way home. I'm like in a time crunch right now because I have to be at my church in an hour and I still have to drive home because we're meeting there for the parade, so I gotta be there in an hour. So I've got like I have like half an hour of wiggle room to get things done, like get dressed and, you know, recurl some of my hair because it likes to do its own thing. It's kind of like Medusa. It does not like to curl. It does not like to be straight. It likes to do what it wants to do. And I straighten it, it curls. I curl it, it straightens. Like, there's no winning. So I need to stop at the pharmacy because I'm pretty sure they're going to be closed by the time I'm done with the parade, because the parade doesn't start till like 5:30 or 6 o'clock or 7 or something crazy late hour. She wanted me to start it tonight, so I gotta make sure I do that. I am on it when it comes to this kind of stuff. I was actually talking to my intended parents this afternoon, and they were like, thank you so much for being, you know, on the ball with everything. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. When it comes to IVF and stuff, I am OCD. Like, I take my meds exactly at the same time every day. You know, I do not want this to be my fault. I want this to be successful, and I am willing to like drop what I'm doing to make sure that that happens. I told them the story when I went down to California for my second surrogacy journey. I was caring for my best friend, and her clinic obviously was local there, and so I had to fly down to California. I was there for like 2 weeks or something. I stayed with her, and while we were there, you know, kind of hit up Disneyland. So we went to Disneyland we had 2 days in a row. So the first day she came with us. The second day she had to work, so her husband and my son and I went and had so much fun. I mean, we had fun with her too. So the first day we were there, you know, my alarm goes off during the fireworks, which if you've been to Disneyland, that place is packed during the fireworks. Like, you have to weave and like shove your way through people because there are so many people just standing in the street. We actually found one of their like cast members or whatever, you know, again, weird names for the positions for that company. Found one of them, and she told them it was a medical emergency. She was like, we have to do this shot now. It has to be done right now. And so they're like, okay, follow me. And we're like following this person. I think it was like a medic or I don't know who it was, somebody, just to get us to a bathroom so she could give me my shots. And people were like, you should have thought of that before. And she's like, no. It was so funny. She's like, this is a medical emergency. And the person's like, it was so funny. Drop what you're doing. You got to do it right then. I mean, I do. I'm sure there's a little bit of wiggle room. I personally do not want to wiggle any, because if something goes wrong, I don't want it to be like, oh, you know, there's that one time that I was like half an hour late taking my meds, which is probably not a big deal, but I don't want it to be my fault. So I am OCD. Funny story, the second day we went to Disneyland, same thing happened, except we were like on our way out. I don't think we we stayed for the fireworks that day because I was tired. We stayed out late the night before, and so we were like walking out to the parking lot, and my alarm rings to do my meds. And so we get out to the car, right? The intended dad and my son, who was 6. I don't remember how old he was. He was little. I think he was like 6-ish. Anyway, we get out to the car, and he legit gave me my shot in the parking lot at Disneyland. Like, you gotta do what you gotta do. And he did just fine. Like, both of them gave me my shots while I was down there, and they did really well. I did not give myself any of the IM shots, which is intramuscular, which is in, like, your butt/hip muscle, like, down, yeah. Just because I can't hurt myself. It's psychological. I just can't do it. In my mind, I'm like, I can't hurt myself on purpose. You know, I had to prick my finger for something one time, and it took me a good 45 minutes to work up the courage to actually do it. So, like, I would never hurt myself intentionally. Even, like, for medical reasons, I can't bring myself to do it. So, anyway, birth control starting tonight. Hopefully they have my prescription and it's filled and there's no issue. Otherwise I'll have to contact them back and be like, hey, they didn't have it. Do I need to wait? Because likely if I can't start it this week, they're going to want me to wait till next month because they want you to start with your period. She said the next step was that she's going to set me up with a navigator. Again, weird position title, but you know, what you do, you boo. Navigator, which I mean, navigate you through the process, I guess, but still, it's a weird. Anyway, set me up with a navigator, and they will be the one that I go to with questions and you know, all the things. The navigator is gonna. People cannot drive today, I'm telling you. The navigator is going to call me and set up my initial screening appointment, which is like physically screen me, not, you know, me answering questions. They're actually going to do probably an ultrasound. I'm guessing a sonohystogram. It's where they take saline, which is essentially salt water, and they put it through a catheter into the uterus, and it kind of blows it up a little bit so they can see everything better. They'll do like an ultrasound along with it to make sure there's no like polyps or, you know, that my uterus isn't a weird shape, because apparently there's heart-shaped uteruses. What? Like, that'd be cool. Like, aw. Apparently it's a thing that some women have, and some women also have 2 uteruses, and they can be pregnant with 2 different babies, like at different weeks gestation. Can you imagine being like 20 weeks pregnant and then getting pregnant again and having a baby, and then 20 weeks later having another baby? Like, that's insane. So anyway, she sent me an email with like the next steps, and she's like, you should probably start prenatal vitamins. I mean, yeah, I knew, but she wants me to take ones with folic acid and DHA, and I'm like a huge proponent of gummy vitamins. There's not a whole lot of like, well, there aren't any of the ones she suggested that come in a gummy form, which, you know, is whatever. I hate swallowing pills though, so if it could come in gummy form. I mean, I'll do what I gotta do, but, you know, if it's easier for me and it works just as well, we'll see. I did watch, I follow someone else that's doing a surrogacy journey right now, and when I searched for prenatal vitamins with DHA and folic acid, the kind that she takes popped up like at the top, you know, as a sponsored thing. So I was like, I wonder if that would work. Because one of the ones that she suggested is like $100. a bottle. I'm not about to pay $100 for a month's worth of prenatal vitamins. There are other ones out there. I'm going to try to remember to record a little bit of the parade